Well, good morning, everybody. Let me get my glasses on. I remember when I first walked into this building, I didn't need them. Of course, when I first walked in this building, I had a lot more hair too, but it's great to see everybody. I first want to congratulate Coach Bo Ryan and the Wisconsin men's basketball team for reaching the Final Four, and we wish them the very best towards winning the NCAA championship. Also, congratulations to the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday in our home opener over the Braves. Thank you to the Admirals, the Milwaukee Bucks, Green Bay Packers, Marquette University, University of Milwaukee, and all the college and high school sport teams in Wisconsin, as this has been a very rich community in sports that I have been blessed and privileged to be part of for the past 21 years. I want to say special thanks to everyone at the BMO Harris Bradley Center, especially Steve Costello, Paul Jansen, and Krista Mopson for hosting today's press conference. It was very important for me to be here, as this is where it all started in 1982, and where the Wave won its first of 6 championships. Also to Corey, Deb, and April from Z2 Marketing, which helped facilitate today's press conference. It has been a quite difficult year for me and my family, especially with the passing of both my father and my mother. My father, Len, who taught me about honesty and commitment and hard work, and my mother, Dorothy, taught me to believe in myself, even if others did not. Thanks, Mom and Dad, as I've tried to live up to your words and your actions. One of the main ingredients of success of the Wave has been teamwork and the overwhelming feeling of family. I want to thank my incredible wife, Kelly, my oldest son, Ian, along with Alex, Mackenzie, and Gracie. They have grown up with the Wave. And as a family, they had to celebrate the wins and endure the losses, and be without their father or husband on many special occasions. I love all you dearly, and thank you for being there for me. Thank you to Wave owners, Ron Cretin and Jim Peters, for bringing me to Milwaukee in 1992. Thank you to Mike Bazelon, Greg Borka, Tim Kraus, Sue Bazelon, Charlie Kraus, and Jim Lindenberg, who are all great owners that believed in me and gave me the opportunity to succeed on the field and the vehicle to touch hearts off. Thank you to Mayor Barrett, Governor Walker, and all of city government for their support over the same years. For the past 11 years, the USL Arena has been my home away from home. Big thank you go to my dear friend Frank Gimbel, Dick Geyer, Sean Geeson, and the entire staff of the Wisconsin Senate District, as they are passionate and professional in everything they do. Also, big thank you go out to the wonderful people at the Milwaukee Kickers, Alvaro, the president, and everyone at Eline Soccer Park for their help as the official training grounds of the Milwaukee Wave over my entire career. Thank you to all the wonderful charities that gave me the opportunity to touch hearts and souls, especially John Kerry and John McLaughlin of the MAC Fund, Linda Kohler at Sharp Literacy, Make-A-Wish, March of Dimes, and all of the very important charities that are within our community. Thank you goes out to the wonderful people in the media. You showed commitment and friendship over these years. Special thanks go to Bob and Brian, who I've spent over 200 mornings with, and if I wasn't with them, I was across the hall at Dave and Carol. I also like to thank Mike Jacobs, Lance Allen, Tom Pippins, Bill Michaels, Charles Gardner, Kenny Bunch, Susan Kim, Vince Fratano, Carol Meekins, my good friend Dennis Krause, Dan Needles, Drew Olson, Greg Matzik, Tim Van Voren, Sparky, Charlie Sykes, and also Doug Russell for all their commitment. As you know, professional sports teams cannot be successful without great sponsors. There are so many great sponsors that I didn't want to write them all down, but I wanted to thank them for their commitment to keep Milwaukee Wave in the community for these past 30 years. My gratitude and thanks goes out to the Wave front office that I've had the pleasure to work alongside. Sarah Quick and Greg Benzel, who then moved on to the Green Bay Packers. Tom Valerian of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel across the street. Dave Snyder of the Milwaukee Bucks, and most recently, Jamie Adlard, Danny Leach, Van McNeil, Lauren Michael Sprinkle, Marie Wolfmeyer, Corey Schooley, Gunnar Franklin, and Allison Phillips. They have been some of the best people that I've had the pleasure to work alongside. I also like to thank our team chaplain. For the past 10 years, we were trying to make players on the field, and Casey Seymour was building them off the field. Casey Seymour, a special thank you to you. To my great assistant coaches, Art Kramer, Steve Morris, and Giuliano Oliviero, for their undying commitment to excellence. To the best goalkeeper in the country, Mark Litton, who taught me early on, stay out of the kitchen. To Brian Moose Cook, who kept everything organized. Tom Wynn, who was the voice of the Wave and could tell the story like no other. And to Mike and Bobby, who are my security guards who kept me safe. All of these men were highly dedicated and gifted. To the Rock of the Wave, Larry Sales. who I consider a dear friend, and his family, and his lovely family, Kathy, Mary, and Brian, who are like family to me, and they also grew up with the Wave. I've admired you, and I respect you like no other. For 21 years, I'd come to the bench, and one of the first things Larry would do is he handed me my marker, and he just did that today. So, Larry, I love you. To all the Wave alumni, especially Victor Noguera, Michael King, Greg Howes, three-time MVP, David Moxham, Peter Knezik, Pat White, Ricky Mobley, Todd and Troy Dostoskis, captains, Joe Hamas, Marcelo Fontana, Nick Vorberg, Stevie Morris, and Michael Richardson, along with Tenzin Rampin, Ian Bennett, and Johnny Torres. These men were all loyal to the core of what it meant being a member of the Milwaukee Wave. It stood for honesty, loyalty, and commitment, and we always called these men men of character. This was their responsibility to carry and then pass on these tendencies to the other great players who came after them. A big thank you go out to the medical staff for Frater Sports Medicine, especially Dr. Frater and Dr. Neifil. Last but most importantly, are the great fans of the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin, and along with great individuals of the Booster Club. I love you dearly. The fans in Milwaukee didn't care where we were playing, who was playing, or how many teams they were. They constantly kept showing up for the games. Just yesterday was a testament as I walked through the crowd at Miller Park on how many people said hello and how many wished me well. I will always cherish the fans and this great community for their support, and I thank all of them from the bottom of my heart. As you know, myself and the Milwaukee Wave have parted ways in good terms. It's been an incredible journey for me. As I look around the room, I see so many dear friends and so many great experiences with these men and women of the Milwaukee Wave. A week from Monday, I get to go to Madrid. There's the largest FIFA futsal event going on. As we know, futsal has grown dramatically over the years, so I'm extremely excited to spend 4 days in Madrid carrying on that as a FIFA instructor. May 30th through June 4th, the U.S. national futsal team will be arriving in Milwaukee. That's how great this city is that national team will train her 4 days before we head to England to play England, Cyprus, and Qatar in a four-nation tournament in which we won last year. We'll both return to Milwaukee on June 9th, and I'd like to announce, and there'll be more information in the future, that during the opening week of the World Championships in Brazil outdoor, that the U.S. futsal national team will also play France's futsal national team right here in the city of Milwaukee. Also during the same time, the United States Youth Summit will be here between June 11th and June 14th. For many years, I've given motivational seminars that being a coach is no different than being an owner, a president, or a manager of a corporation. Doesn't matter if it's a product or a service. You need to find the right individuals. You have a goal, a well-thought-out game plan, ability to change and motivate. So if anybody's looking for a leader, I'm available. In the meantime, I'd like to thank Allison Phillips of Edge Promotion. Today, I'm very proud to announce the unveiling of the Keith Tozer Soccer Academy. We go live today with logo, website, Facebook, Twitter, address, phone number, and marketing materials. Also, I'm proud to announce that former Wave owner and my very good friend Jim Lindenberg's Legend of the Field Company has become the title sponsor of KT Soccer Academy, and also Chris Klug from ABC Audio is a supporting sponsor. So we're extremely excited about that venture that will continue to help provide the wonderful players and coaches in the state of Wisconsin the expertise that the Milwaukee Wave players shown over the years. So to finally put to it, I love this community. I'm hopefully going to be able to stay in this community. I want to thank everybody for everything that you've done for me. The Milwaukee Wave has been and will be the flagship franchise of whatever league they decide to play in. Support them, love them like I have, and thank you again. Now I'll keep it open for a couple of minutes for questions. Yes. Um, when I was 46 years old, I was thinking, should I get out of the sport and move on to something else in life? And the great men that are around this room and playing at the Bradley Center and the Cell, the community of Milwaukee and Wisconsin kept me here. Then I won a championship. And then we won a couple more. And then I decided maybe at 50 I should get out. And then we won a couple more. I think this is the perfect time for me to move on. This was a time for me to get into the business world. The reason I got into coaching was that I didn't want to be a player until 40 and then got out. I wanted to learn the other side of the business. So I think this was a perfect time for me to really look out and see what there is out there and to still be involved in the game, because I'm extremely proud to be the national team coach for 17 years. I'm a FIFA instructor. I'm the technical advisor for USYF, so things are okay. No, like I said, we left on good terms. We sat okay. We sat down and we discussed what was the best for Keith Tozer, what was the best for the Milwaukee Wave, and I felt, okay, along with the organization, that this was the time for me to move on. Charles. No, I don't think that's over. I mean, obviously, the Major Indoor Soccer League has taken a hiatus or time off. There is another league that the organization, the Wave organization, is thinking about going in. It is a little bit different than the Major Indoor Soccer League. I think, how do I characterize the PSL? It's still hiring men and women in a job to help them make a living for their family. So as long as there's people out there that believe in the indoor game, I love the indoor game. I believe in the indoor game. I hope it survives. And that's not for me to really figure out now, but it's for others. I think the most thing I'm most proud of is all the men that came through the doors in the Milwaukee Wave and that are still here in the community, that were not only great champions on the field, but also men of character off the field.
Is there one highlight that sticks in your mind, just in particular, maybe like the finals or the first championship or the last championship?
You know, it's kind of like having a family with a bunch of kids. You know, you love them all. You love them all for different reasons. I have to say that the first championship here in this building, the Bradley Center, when Stevie Morris hit that big three-pointer just before halftime against Cleveland, you know, winning that first championship was just so wonderful. We had 18,000 people in the stadium. Victor Nogueira, Michael King, Brian Lofton, Stevie Morris, all those great players, is something that I'll always remember, along with the other five that I also love too.
Will it be hard for you kind of getting up in the morning and not going into the Wave office? I mean, how will you adjust?
I think that's only a question I can answer down the road. I mean, you know, it's been something I've been doing for 21 years, and, you know, it's something that I'll live through. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about, you know, what's going to be out there on the horizon. I support the Wave. I hope they continue to be successful, and at the same time, I got to make sure that I can provide for my family.
Speaking of the Wave, I mean, where do you see their future? Do you still see them playing a couple years down the road, a couple seasons down the road?
No, you know, they're right now figuring out, you know, what league they're going to play in and how it's going to work, and, you know, all the things behind the scene that a sports organization has to do. And sometimes people who are with a corporation for a long period of time, when they leave, they want ill will. I don't. I want the Milwaukee Wave to flourish. I think they're great for the community in the state of Wisconsin.
I think it was last minute you signed was it a 3-year contract with the Wave?
Yes.
What happened between then and now?
Well, I think the big thing is that the MISL decided that they weren't going to play anymore. I think when that decision was made, and for many years, I always felt as a coach, you're hired to be fired. Do you have an owner? Do you have a league? Do you have this? And so when the MISL decided that it was time that maybe they took a hiatus, it was time for me to look, and I think the time for the Milwaukee Wave ownership group to look and figure out what's best for them and what's best for me.
And I noticed you thanking former players and former owners, but I think maybe you left out Sue Black. What are your thoughts on her?
Well, whenever you talk about an owner, you talk about the entire organization. And like I said, I wish the Wave organization all the best. They're a very important component here in the city, and I think they'll do quite well.
Keith said it best. I think he's done a great job as not just being, a coach of the game. I think he's done a great job of bringing in players and creating a family with also having to run the business of indoor soccer. And it's been a great being able to be a player under him, not only just with the Wave for the past 10 years. Learned a lot from him, and then also being able to be part of the national team pool with the futsal and be able to travel the world with him and go through some unbelievable experiences. Not only just winning 3 championships here, the last 3, but also being able to be part of some U.S. futsal history too as well. So it's been a fantastic ride, and the guy's an amazing man.